Reid Hoffman, last week we had Paul Kudrowski on the show, who, Dr. Death, wrote the obituary of large-scale venture capital. And now you, one of the few people actually in Silicon Valley I genuinely respect, have joined Greylock Ventures as a venture capitalist. Yep. Are you letting me down? What's going on here?
Well, I try not to let you down. It's Greylock Partners, by the way. And so, I mean, I think one of the questions is, a lot of venture firms don't actually return effective money. I think the question about succeeding as a venture firm and as a venture capitalist is being in one or more of the huge blockbuster companies. And if you do that, you actually create discontinuous results for your LPs. And so the top, handful, 5, 10, maybe 20, probably not 20, of venture capital firms do have great returns for their LPs. And so the question really, when you engage in this game, is can you be one of those? And can you do that? And part of what interested me in venture capital and in Greylock was that I shared a vision with Greylock in terms of there's ways to enhance how the venture capital firm works in terms of partnering and working with entrepreneurs that could both help attract and help work with the companies that become institutions, become household brands. And Greylock itself, invested in LinkedIn, invested in Facebook, invested in Pandora. I've invested in Zynga. We have a reasonably good track record on these things, and we anticipate that the way that we're playing it, we can even take it to another level.
I don't understand though what this means. Give me an example of how Greylock would do what you're saying with, say, LinkedIn, as being not just a conventional venture capitalist firm.
Well, so in terms of LinkedIn, the structure of the deal is traditional VC, but one of the ways to understand the Greylock Partners in Silicon Valley, and one of the things that they announced was they've moved their headquarters from Boston to Silicon Valley. Of the kind of 5 principal partners in Silicon Valley, 3 have founded companies, and all 5 have been operating executives. So the question about how do you work as a partner in building these massive companies that, all the challenges that you go to scale, we've all had direct experience on. And that's one of the reasons why I selected David Z out of a pool of folks to be the lead in my Series B. He himself has deep operating experience with EA and Excite and some others. So that's kind of where it is. Now the question is, we have a stack of ideas which we don't normally talk about on camera because these are part of our competitive stance.
You're not really on camera. No one really watches TechCrunch, so you don't have to worry.
Oh, so no one watches TechCrunch. The person watching will be very appreciative. But we have a set of ideas about ways that we can help add value to our portfolio. That we have some people working on, I've been working on for the last year. And like, for example, a simple one is a different take on the recruiting space. Like, how do you help companies build the right kind of recruiting culture when you've actually been an operator and have actually tried to hire the so-called A players, and how do you do that? You have a much better experience about how to do that and how to help doing it and how to build an infrastructure that helps a company do that than you do when you don't.
So you said earlier that you weren't primarily driven by money. In that context, why would you join a venture capitalist firm?
Well, 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is that when you help entrepreneurs build these massive companies, I'm not interested in investing in any company I don't think positively changes the world, right? There's a lot of good companies. The ones I invest in also happen to have a good positive impact. And connecting people with each other, the whole consumer internet and how people connect with each other is generally a good space to be operating. The second thing is when you increase the economic efficiency, the productivity, the tools availability, and increase the whole value of the ecosystem, that is a way of making a strong impact and changing the world. I'm definitely of the Carnegie school of thinking about that industrialists with the right head on their shoulders, with the right heart, with the right vision about what they're doing, actually do make massive changes in the world. And so, the Gates Foundation being probably the most recent incarnation of this. And so, helping kind of take the game of creating these massive services and products and companies within Silicon Valley is part of changing the world.